Okay, sorry, apologies to everyone who tried to get in then. It's just, I upgraded from meeting to webinar, like to a company for the fact that we're going to have 30 or 40 people. I definitely need to have more capacity. And in the upgrade, didn't realize that I've got to add everyone as a panelist, otherwise they can't use my screen. So Jose, for example, was saying, what the hell? I can't see that little button that goes, eh.
I wasn't sure I was in the right place, but it seems to be working now, right? You can hear me?
I can hear you. You're looking good. Love the rosé. Steve's there down in Sydney. Hey, Andrew, I thought you were an Aussie, but it turns out maybe you're not. No, doesn't matter. You snuck it anyway. Already, we got it all together this time. Hey, Gina.
Hi.
James, James, the participant link hasn't, sorry, the attendee link hasn't changed, right? It's still the same.
Same. The event link's still the same, yeah.
Thanks.
Let's give everyone some time. It's a bit late, but we'll catch up on the way through. And I know Amanda's got a hard stop. You'll get out of here on time. I've got you covered.
Thanks, James.
You can always vote ahead of time, okay, as you see them. Yeah. So I'll just give the guys a few more minutes to come in. Who's up first, Jose?
Yes,
Right?
I am.
You're going to be presenting first anyway, mate. You're in the hot seat. Hi, Colin. Hi, Matia.
Hi, James. Nice seeing you. Been a while.
Yeah, actually, I don't know whether you want to see this, but anyway, yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Look, as soon as we get a few more on, I'll let everyone start. Jose, can you see the present or share screen button right in front of you now? You got that?
Yes, I can, and it looks like I can share. So yeah, it all looks good. Thanks.
Okay. So we're now got 31. That's 21 judges and 10. That's at least where we should be. So I think we can start if everyone's ready to rock and roll. Cool. Look, I should do a nice little presentation. I will do a bit of a presentation, but it's going to take 2 minutes, only to say I'm not the person who normally does this sort of thing, but I really, really, really wanted to take time this time and give back, because I've been in this business of mentoring and investing in startups for quite a long time, but I haven't ever sort of evolved into the point of just doing something for the heck of doing it. And I just wanted to do an event to give some of the startups a chance that might not have come through your fairly conventional accelerator or incubator channel. And I think we see a lot of startups that come through that channel that do very well, but I've equally been very fortunate over the years to see startups that haven't gone through incubation and acceleration and have ended up being really, really great founders. They've had to fight against a lot more odds, and I think in the process, I found them anyway to be worthy of the shot. So this is my way of trying to get more people to have a shot, and hence it's normally run by the Startup.Network. It's normally run by the team. I hope to have Lena and Katie on the call in case I need help, but this is just me working with their particular, if you like, infrastructure or ecosystem to generate some interest locally. So, you know, that's it. It's actually Startup.Network who's got the panel, who's got the platform, I should say, but this is kind of like just me using their platform to do the event. With that said, let's, when Jose is ready, let's Jose start.
Okay, great. Can everybody see my screen? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
It's good.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you everyone for having me. My name is Jose San Pedro. I'm the CEO and co-founder of inPact, and we build enterprise SaaS to turn contracts into an accessible, valuable source of data and insights for business decision makers. Now, I used to be a corporate lawyer for Linklaters and also a management consultant for BCG, and it was clear to me that clients didn't have the information they needed at their fingertips to solve some of their biggest challenges. So it was no surprise to see that Gartner studies showed how poor the capabilities of companies are in terms of leveraging their own internal data to make better decisions, which leads to a massive leak in value equivalent to 10% of their top line each and every year. Now, we realize that impacted contracts represent every asset, liability, and relationship of a company. They contain business critical information that can solve some of the biggest challenges faced by heads of sales, procurement, and finance across organizations. But because of their technical language and because of their unstructured nature, they're usually not the go-to source of data to help make decisions. So if we take just one example on this page, like the head of finance or the CFO, their primary goal is really to keep the predictability and visibility of future cash flows and keep cost of capital low by avoiding expensive external credit. And to do that, we can actually tap on contracts to build a much more precise pro forma cash flow statement by taking client contracts to understand what are the committed future revenues and also vendor and financing agreement for committed capital and operational expenditures, together with the conditions that trigger the payments that are due in order to build a much more precise view of the cash flows for the company. And that's exactly where inPact comes in. So at inPact, we're able to take bulks of PDF contracts and extract business and commercial information from them and create a structured contract database. But we don't stop there. We provide specific dashboards for each of the personas you saw earlier, for the key business decision makers, and provide them with the key business metrics and visualizations they need to make some of the most important decisions. So to give you a sense, for a company that has a revenue of 250 million in annual turnover, we estimate a 1% revenue equivalent savings of 2.5 million by just providing that better visibility throughout our business intelligence use cases, such as sales effectiveness, doing revenue and churn analysis, improve working capital by spotting outlier payment terms from vendors and fully utilizing trade credit, and improving vendor management by ensuring that vendors stick to their SLAs. In terms of how we make money, we charge modular subscription fees. So we start by charging a fee for the intelligent repository, which changes PDFs into structured data. And then companies have the option to subscribe to different business intelligence use cases like revenue and churn, working capital, and vendor management. Ultimately, we target enterprises with 250 million annual turnover and with multiple BI use cases so that we can yield 100K ARR for each client. So I'll stop there and hope that made it in 3 minutes and open to questions.
So unmute yourself, guys, if you want to ask questions. Please go ahead. We've got 3 minutes Q&A.
Hey, thanks for that, Jose. Can you explain again what's the kind of annual revenue that you're looking at per client?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, what's the revenue model that you're running, and what do you expect kind of lifetime value per client that you're working with?
Yeah, so the product is actually very sticky because, as you can imagine, we take over contract management for the customer, and the BI is not just one-off analytics, but rather it enables reporting on a weekly, monthly, or quarterly basis as a company would typically do. So we really ingrain into the SOPs of the enterprise. In terms of the value that we can deliver, once we're hitting that level of enterprises that are 250 million turnover and above, we expect to generate approximately 100K ARR. And that is on a model where we are landing an account and expanding it. So we expect to, so our go-to-market is we arrive with the intelligent document repository, sort out their contract base, and usually one BI use case. So for example, if it's the sales team that's really bringing our account in, they'll do revenue and churn analytics. And then we use that to, we use that position to start expanding to other departments and other use cases, which increase our ARR.
Hi, Jose. This is Amanda here. I have another question around, have you had any, clients that you work with, and, what are some of the, results from those engagements?
Yeah, just to give you a little bit of context. So we actually we're a very early stage company. We incorporated in May 2020, and we very quickly established an alpha program, which was free of charge with 2 companies. Where we really had a minimum viable product and got a tremendous amount of learning from them, both in terms of UI, UX, and improving our AI models to improving the accuracy of those models with real data. and also testing our first revenue and churn analytics dashboard. So we learned a lot from those programs, but these clients were very small. They wouldn't really justify the kind of pricing that we have for our product. So after that, we set on building a beta that would be more enterprise ready. And we actually signed our first paid pilot with an Indian company that has more than 150 million in turnover about a month and a half ago. So we're working on onboarding them hopefully by the end of this month, by the end of this week.
This is Belinda Wong. I would like to ask, who are your competitors and how is your service different from that of your competitors?
Sure, thank you for your question. So you may be aware that when it comes to contract analysis, there is a number of companies in legal review. One of the most famous one, for example, is Kira, and a newer one is LinkSquares. And the thing is, these companies were focused on surveying lawyers and helping them review contracts faster and more efficiently. So they're not really designed, and their machine learning models are not really designed to extract things like and interpret things like pricing formulas or more commercial and business terms within the contracts. They're more focused on things like indemnities or arbitration clauses or governing law. So they're not very precise when it comes to extracting that. Now, there is a range of competitors that we watch very closely who are focused on business insights. One of them is Syrian Labs, which is a Sequoia-backed company in India. And they actually started with just a contract lifecycle management module where they weren't really focusing on AI extraction, but they realized there was such great data coming out of the input of the contracts that they could do business consulting on the top of that data. Now they have raised another round to try and automate that, but they haven't done it yet, so it's still very much a contractual model. Instabase is another example. They are more of a no-code, low-code approach. So they have NLP technology and computer vision to extract information, but the company has to build its own app. So you need a super user, and that's pretty heavy onboarding. But they're very well backed too, Index and A16Z. And then there's a very early company backed by YC last 2 years ago. And they basically do the AI extraction of that more business commercial information, but they don't do anything with it. They just pass it on to NetSuite or Excel. Now, I think all of those competitors are really compromising on scalability for deeper insights. What we do is we want to nail those dashboards that are helpful out of the box for the business stakeholders, as opposed to just providing the raw data or having to do business consulting, which doesn't scale.
Jose, thank you, and thank you, Belinda, for the question. I've got one more quick question before we move on. That's from one of the people attending, and it's from Sinan. Okay, he says, since contracts are confidential, how is this handled? Could you just keep it fairly short, Jose, please?
Yeah, we sign NDAs, obviously in our terms of business as well, with every customer, and we adhere to every cybersecurity standard that is best in class in the industry.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And any other questions, you can keep those questions if you don't mind, and either send it to me or send it to Jose directly. He'll now unshare his screen, and we'll have Simon coming up next. Simon, are you ready? Simon
is not ready, so I'm replacing Simon. Hi, my name is Peter. Simon just got twins. He's busy with baby stuff at the moment, so I'm replacing him for the moment.
That's a pretty good reason. I think we'll let that one go. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me share my screen here. Let's see. All right, let me know if we're good to go. Can you see it?
Good.
Yeah. All right, so let me introduce to you HandPrint. HandPrint is a platform and dashboard that connects businesses with NGOs and help them to replace their footprint and create what we call the handprint. We all know what the footprint is. It's the summary of all negative effects that we have as a business on the planet. And with HandPrint, we would like to focus on everything that is positive. So reforestation, cleaning, plastic, and then hopefully allow businesses to flourish by focusing on being regenerative rather than destructive. And currently that is very, very difficult for a lot of businesses to figure out what their footprint is, how they compensate, or how they even become planet positive. And even though multiple studies show that companies that provide sustainable business models or have sustainable products grow up to 70, 80% faster than traditional businesses. And even though that's the case, still a lot of businesses are lacking behind on their efforts. So what we do with HandPrint is we partner with NGOs that we select and vet. And through our platform, any business can connect with these NGOs and contribute to their sustainable efforts. This could be reforestation, ocean plastic cleanup, or coral reconstruction. And we try to automate that entire process. It's a free service to use for the majority of people. And we have a bunch of premium features, mainly for enterprise solutions, where we make our money. We try to keep everything transparent, meaning you can trace the money flow and see how much of your contribution actually goes towards the NGO. And in our case, that is 100%. So if you donate $10,000 towards reforestation, $10,000 actually ends up on the bank accounts of these NGOs, where traditionally up to 80% of the contributions could get lost through different processes. The technology works through an API, which goes both ways. So you can implement our technology into an existing app or website, or even in physical products, and request for the execution of impact. And then you can also request the data from those executions and say, okay, how much carbon have I absorbed with my forest that I've planted, or how many kilograms of plastic have I cleaned from the ocean? So, for example, an app like a ride-hailing app like Uber or Grab could compensate for their carbon for every single ride. So based on the calculation of the distance of the ride, we could say, oh, you need to plant X amount of trees, which then is compensated through a micro donation through our API. Or you could have a QR code on a physical product where people could scan to, for example, get 1 kilogram of plastic out of the ocean through one of our NGOs. And then the request part from data can be visualized. So we have integrations already ready-made that people can implement on their websites, where it shows what the impact is, where it's coming from, where the money is going, how much forest they've planted, and how that computes. For e-commerce in particular, we have created plugins. Those are free to use, and currently they are live on WooCommerce, Shopify, and Magento. So in less than 5 minutes, shop owners can download the plugin, create an account, select a pledge, for example, saying 1% of my revenue goes towards reforestation. And in the checkout, people will see how many trees they are planting with their contribution. Traditionally, like I mentioned, up to 80% of the contribution of money goes towards other things than the project itself. Most of this goes towards validation and verification of the projects and the impact itself. And we have built a technology to verify this almost automatically. It's been a 3-year journey done by 2 of the co-founders of HandPrint, Dr. Simon Schillebeeks, who was supposed to talk, and Dr. Ryan Merrill. They are professors in sustainable operations, and they've worked for the past 3 years on building a technology that enables impact verification. And I'll get back to how that works in a little while. So what we do is we vet the projects according to certain metrics, like carbon efficiency, female empowerment, social impact. And then on the verification of impact itself, we are working with different technologies depending on the impact. The furthest we are we are at the late stage for reforestation at the moment, which we use satellite imagery for. We capture the data every 3 months and see how the forest grows, and through an algorithm that we have built, we measure what the carbon efficiency or the carbon capture is. So traditionally, people would actually have to go to the forest every couple months to measure the circumference of the trees and do some difficult computation to figure out how efficient their carbon capture is.
Stephen, that's about 5 minutes, mate. We're gonna have to wrap it up.
Okay, yeah, sure. Then businesses can connect with the NGOs through our platform as well, request for like data, they see videos and pictures live. And the latest development that we are doing right now, which is not yet done, but it's in the make, is a consumer app where people can track all the impact that they've generated through purchases online. Then I would like to present you the 3 founders, the entire team, and that will be it.
Thanks very much, sir. Open to questions.
I have a question, if I can jump in here.
Yeah.
What kind of NGOs have you partnered? Like how many and sort of what spaces are they in, and how do you probably measure that when the money reaches their bank account, it actually gets where it needs to be in the end, or do you rely on their sort of trust in a sense?
Yeah. So currently we have just over a dozen NGOs, mostly in Southeast Asia, and the majority of them in the reforestation. 2 of them are in ocean plastic cleanup. And then we are working with new NGOs for coral reef reconstruction that will be onboarded probably in the next few weeks. And then we keep adding new projects. The way we verify the money flow is every NGO gets access to an app, which we call the Planter app, that is connected to the platform. And then when the money is sent, they have to verify whether or not the money has been received, which anybody can track that uses the platform. So that way we know, okay, money has been sent. We know that because that goes through our platform. And then once it's received, there is a ping coming back from the NGO saying, okay, I received the money. Now I'm going to plant the trees, which we then verify through 4 sources. One is social verification. So that could be people we have on the ground that do general checkups. It is through financial auditing, and then we use our technologies to verify the amount of trees, for example, that have been planted using satellite imagery.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Sorry, so what is your business model? Like, are you making money? Are you a non-profit or for-profit? Because
No, we are for-profit.
Okay.
Yeah, we are for-profit. Most of the tools that we provide are free. The way we make money is premium features that could be certain customization, and it could be huge numbers of API calls. So currently we're at a stage where we're testing different revenue models. What is live currently is customization and notification pushes for NGOs and requests for NGOs. So for example, if you're a business donating and you would like to have the NGO take a picture with t-shirts of your brand, you can push that to the NGO and we take a small cut on this. And then it's premium features like custom coloring of plugins that we have built, or custom text and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you tag in on a existing process of donations to verify where the funds in going, right? So it's pretty much any business that's involved in some kind of impact activities. Okay. I'm not going to ask about pricing, but that would be good to present, like what is your expected revenue and what your revenue growth would be. You know, for investor, that's kind of important to see where you're going to be in 3-5 years, right?
Yeah, let me take a note of that.
Okay, anyone else want to jump in, or can we move on? We're okay? All right. Thank you, sir. Can we have drum roll, please? Yeah, Vircle. If I pronounced that correctly, I probably haven't. So if I've murdered it, I'm really sorry.
No, you're correct, James. Can you hear me very well? It's raining heavily.
You can up the volume a bit more if you want, but yes, I can.
Okay, so I'll just come closer because it's raining here. So if you're ready, we can start. All right. All right.
Say again.
Yeah. Should we start?
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gokula. I'm the founder of Vircle. And like many of you, or some of you, I'm a father. Now let's talk about money. You know, as humans, we have evolved over many generations, but for a bulk of us from the Gen X and Gen Ys, lessons about money come in a very hard way, right? Now, at least in Malaysia, the reality does not look good, with over 80% of adults not being able to live past 3 months without income. Millennials too are not doing very well, with over 60% defaulting in repaying their student debt. And now let's look at the Gen Zs. They're not having it any better when it comes to money, with increasing influence from online peers, social link pressures. And while parents are so busy working to pay off their debt, no one is really preparing our children to be better at money than we were. Now, this is where Vircle comes in, and this is what we're trying to address. Vircle is a fintech nurturing platform that helps parents raise smart, healthy, and financially responsible children. So we try to make money simple, friction-free, and safe for the Gen Zs under safe parental controls. So the heart of Vircle is basically a parental control rails, which allow parents to give digital pocket money with rules on when, where, and how it can be spent, and track consumption through real-time alerts. Now, what separates us from many other neo-banking products out there is, we use consumption data to gamify health and wellness. And soon we are also working with insurance partners to introduce one of the most comprehensive health club benefits for children. This is especially so important in a country like Malaysia, where over 70% of children have no health benefits. Now, in Malaysia itself, we have about 7.9 million children under 18, of which we plan to acquire 20% of them in the 9 to 18 age. If we look wider in Southeast Asia, the underage 18 group, there are about 164 million children, out of which more than 70% are unbanked. So with this small target over the next 5 years, we intend to grow a revenue of about 25 million US recurring annually. Now, we do this in a 3-phased approach purely because of regulatory reasons. Just to share, it took us 18 months to get initial central bank approval to launch, simply because they had no such reference in Southeast Asia to regulate us on. So we launched a year ago in June 2020, focused on B2B partnerships with schools. It's a very low cost way for us to acquire a large number of users and get through the proof points required by central bank to regulate such a service. This July, we graduate and we launch our own prepaid Visa debit card, which allows us to scale direct to consumer without dependency of schools. Now, most of the competition in this space are very focused on just the cashless part of payments. Now, what Vircle does is brings the best of cashless and nurturing with focus on parents and children with very strong parental control levers. But what's setting us apart compared to many is the hyper-localization to Southeast Asian behaviors on how allowances are given and spent by kids. Now, we do make money in 2 ways. One is a subscription fee from parents and also interchange fee from merchants. Now, the management team, we have more than 100 man-years of relevant experience across banking, marketing, P&L management, and operations. So 3 key takeaways, if I could leave you with before I open up to questions. I think the domain of this whole concept of neo-banking for children has seen incredible growth. In Southeast Asia alone, more than 70% children are unbanked. And we give parents an ability to give children their first contactless payment and nurturing experience through a digital way. Now, we are also hyper-localized to Southeast Asian needs, not just cashless, but we bring the best of cashless, wellness and nurturing. And finally, the team of founders and management team who have brought this startup over the last 18 months to a stage that it is, with actually limited funding from external sources, mostly self-funded. So having said that, I mean, if you have more questions, you can ask them now, or please reach out to us at gokula@vircle.com, or you can call me. So now I open up for questions if you have any.
Thank you very much, Gokula.
Any questions?
This is Belinda Wong.
Hi, Belinda.
Yeah, I would like to ask, the regulatory cost is getting much higher throughout the world. How would you handle compliance, and especially on cybersecurity and personal data privacy?
Okay, so compliance was the biggest hurdle for our launch. It took us 18 months. Now, let me address the first question on cost. To be able to launch and validate the demand for this in this market, what we did is, instead of going direct to invest on a license, we actually signed up a partnership with a sponsor. Now that we have validated this, we recently got an opportunity to acquire an existing license holder who's lost their business model, which made us more confident to invest the required money to actually move from a sponsored model to our own model. Now, in terms of ongoing cost of compliance, I think as startups, sometimes we end up wanting to build every part of the stack on our own. So what we did is we built a super modular tech stack, where for Malaysia, we actually have a partner that works with us on the cybersecurity and compliance part at a fairly low cost. And as part of our expansion next year to 2 other major Southeast Asian countries, we've actually identified 2 banks that can operate in a similar model, where we don't have to build a full stack, where we leverage the best of breed, because our core strength is the parental controls, is the wellness, is the nurturing, right? So the best way to build is to leverage on partners and build an ecosystem.
Thank you. Thanks for asking that question, Belinda. Anyone else would like to jump in before we move on?
Sorry, did you mention competition? Because I think I've seen quite a few solutions that are focusing on the teenagers and kids spending and the controls.
Yeah, okay. So competition. So in Malaysia itself, there isn't much of a competition in the parental control space. There is one bank which has attempted to launch something almost about 2 months after we did. However, they've built it as a companion service to their banking customers versus a standalone non-bank platform that could scale. So I'm not too, I think for us, the way we see competition is not really another competitor coming in, but actually educating a market which has never seen such a product before. So that's, to me, the first competition for us to overcome. The second thing is, if you look at global competitors, most recently we got the first unicorn in the space, which is Greenlight in the US. And the other big one is GoHenry in the UK, and Spriggy in Australia. There's a lot of rumor that they're just about to be acquired right now. All of them have been focused purely on the payment parts of this whole nurturing. Now, as a father, I mean, payment is important, digitizing cash, teaching kids the value of money is important, but the whole idea of Vircle is to bring the best of financial literacy, wellness, and nurturing. So the wellness and nurturing is difficult. There's a lot of thought process that goes to it, and that's what would set us apart with anyone who's trying to come into Malaysia to try to set this up. In this region, specifically Southeast Asia, the only other place where there is actually a successful setup of this is in Singapore. Most of them have launched actually after Vircle launch in June last year. So competition is good. It just keeps us on our toes.
Thanks very much, sir. I'd like to move on, but before I do, is anyone having trouble seeing the voting boxes underneath the startups on the event page? Please.
I can't see the voting boxes, James.
Sorry?
I can't see the voting boxes. I've refreshed the website.
So we've got some people that must be seeing it and some that can't, because I am seeing some numbers coming in. So I don't know what is going wrong there. Some have voted and I can see the numbers coming in. All I can suggest is if you can't see it, I've just logged out and logged back in to try and refresh the system. What you can do, take a note and just send it to me in the chat, and I'll sort of basically collate it manually at the end. It takes about 2 minutes, 3 minutes longer, but if it doesn't work for some and it does work for others, we have to make sure it's fair. So if it's not working, send it to me. If it is working, great. That's what it should be doing, yeah?
I just posted the link you gave me because I had a number of links that didn't work for me either, but this one worked for me. So maybe if they can try it, I posted in the chat.
Thanks, sir. That's a great idea. Did everyone hear that from Peter? That was Peter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Peter's post, I mean, that is the link. I think it should be fine. As I said, I can see some people are voting, but some can't, and they've tried. So I honestly don't know, and I haven't got tech team on dial. So if it doesn't work, just keep a note of your score that you want to give, and just send it to me manually, and I'll just add them in at the end and collate. It takes a bit longer, but we'll get there. All right, moving on. We have, the next is, wow, you've already got it up. You're ahead of me. Fantastic. Organization plus setup. Okay, I'll leave it over to you.
Good afternoon all. So I'm Siddharth. I'm co-founder of Xfinito Biodesigns, and we are developing an intelligent technology platform for management of neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, neuropathy, etc. So our story started in 2010 when I was working on my graduate project in neuromodulations for stroke rehabilitation. But I never knew that is going to take a turn in a different way altogether. I went for a cushy job. But however, in 2012, my mom got neuropathy and her right leg was numb and she was in pain. And that's when I took a plunge, started to develop the entire neuromodulation system for her using electrical therapy at that time. I was pretty successful. She didn't respond for 4 weeks, but 5th week onwards, she started responding. And if I fast forward to 8 years now, she is about 85 to 90% up. And she's a co-founder in my startup now and helps us with accessibility and inclusive designs. Post my success with my mom, I started a startup called as Fiesta Innovation in the therapeutic phase, given kind of a very young start and a lot of efforts required in the intervention and therapeutic stage. We could not succeed, and thereby we had to start the startup in 2016-17. I joined my PhD at IISc Bangalore in the area of medtech innovations to understand the mistake. It paid off, and that helped me to start the startup Xfinito Biodesigns in 2019, with Amulya joining us last year with her experience in nanotechnology and biosensors. So as that we work in the overall area of neurodegenerative disease, and one of the causes of it is aging. And if you see with regards to aging and neurodegeneration, we see diseases like neuropathy, Parkinson's, Huntington, lupus, and many more. And if you just take one case of neurodegeneration and take a case of diabetic peripheral neuropathy, there are 463 million people globally affected with diabetic neuropathy. And one of the side effects of neuropathy is food ulcers. And if it's not managed on time, it could lead to gangrene and even amputation. So that's the kind of big thing that we are trying to look. And if we just try to put in terms of numbers, a total addressable market of $6.5 billion plus only for diabetic peripheral neuropathy. And even if we look at initial launch in just 4 cities of India, we are talking about $4.8 million per year of revenue. So this is how we NCV as a product. There will be like a couple of variables. Some will be custom designed by us. Some would be we get all the data. We model it in our intelligent hybrid computing using machine learning, deep learning, and digital twin modeling, which would basically help us in prevention, monitoring progression of neurodegeneration, and supporting intervention. And then there's a third part, which is the front end, where you will be having clinicians and clinical scientists who will do more data analysis and connect the patient and the doctor as well. So as part of the solution, we are right now completing a development of an intelligent footwear, which would have sensors for pressure, temperature, and motion analysis, like most of our competitors. But the key part that we have is neuromuscular sensing. So basically, we stimulate the nerves and nerves there and take the records of the muscle response to the stimulation, which is not there in any of our competitors and gives us an edge in actually looking at the neuro health. And then the same, all this data together goes to the Buddy app, which becomes the patient interface and also a tool for data monitoring. So if you look at the overall solution, we have 3 parts. One is the variable, as I mentioned. Second is something called as Relieve, the overall SaaS model that we are developing, and which would also enable the clinician connect and telemedicine, as I was mentioning. But one of the main aim over here is this particular platform will be operated and supported by people who have got acquired or congenital disabilities. So they will be having more idea of how to actually talk to the people who are currently undergoing the process of disability. And finally, there would be an intelligent telemedicine system which connects across the thing. Our value proposition basically is early detection and quantification of data. We support evaluating the treatment and therapy efficacy. We support in monitoring progression for new nerve degeneration, which could basically avoid or delay the disabilities or morbidities associated with the disease. Finally, if you look at just the neuropathy case, we could also prevent the likes of foot ulcers. We have a couple of IP potential that we are looking at, and our first IP is going to get filed in about a week or two. We don't have a footwear design expertise, and thereby we bring in Mohammed Ahsan, who is a footwear designer with 25 plus years of experience. And the reason why he is helping us because he himself has Parkinson's. He is a celebrity footwear designer in India. And we have gotten a team who could actually help us in various aspects of it, which we don't have. If you look at just the competition, we can put the competition into 4 buckets at this point of time. One is the passive footwear that are available, like that of Hand River, etc., which could be helping the diabetic foot management. We have some active footwear which could give some stimulus, and some active foot insoles which could actually monitor pressure, temperature, or motion analysis. One of the 3, or a combination of 3. And then there are intervention and therapy.
So now we're getting to 5 minutes. Can you just sort of wrap it up there and then do the rest in Q&A, please?
Sure, I'm wrapping up in a second. And finally, we have all of it. So if you look at it, our first product is going to get launched in the next year, April 2022, which would be taking the route of wellness system, specifically for diabetics and people with high risk of neurodegeneration. And this is a small demo of where we are, how we are doing the analysis. And we have also developed the initial footwear, which would actually go in for the patient. Thank you.
Thanks, Siddharth. And questions, please. Go ahead.
Thanks, Siddharth. What how many units have you sold, or what's your revenue today, and what's your traction today with the product, or have you launched it?
No, Steve. So we are in a very early stage right now. We have not reached the revenue yet. We are expecting our first revenue to hit in the next year, basically. We've been currently supported by Government of India and a couple of grants that we have received for the product development. And we have started kind of a beta, our testing for the for acceptance of the product in market. So that's where we are right now.
Got it.
Anyone else want to jump in before we move on? Okay, Siddharth, I'll get you to unshare your screen so we can start the next one. Perfect.
Thank you.
Who's next? I think it's my friend Yatia, correct?
Hi, everyone.
I'll let you get your set up. There we go.
Can everybody see my screen? Just hold on. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, great. So,
yep.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yatir. I'm CEO and co-founder of ConfirmU. I'm based out of Tel Aviv, Israel. I'm happy to introduce you to ConfirmU. We're a global B2B2C company, and introducing here the team, we're a set of a leadership team based out of US, Israel, UK, and with foots on the ground in India, with global psych and head of sales in India. So ConfirmU addresses a problem of financial inclusion, where we see nearly 3 billion people excluded from access to credit. And that for itself is a potential revenue opportunity for lenders estimated at around $2 trillion, which is not being used. The reason for financial inclusion mostly is because a lot of people don't have any credit history, and therefore financial institution would rule them out. And we're actually solving that by a 3 minutes game, which is embedded within the lender's workflow. We actually create for the first time digital financial footprints over those people. And that's the unique advantage that we're bringing. So what we have here today is actually a game. And what I mean by a game, it's a combination of both psychometrics and gamification elements. That game can actually be used to anybody on the field, all those people who are invisible, playing them, and we can actually understand after 3 minutes whether those people will actually repay back loans. So this is the unique message to the world, and we're currently piloting this in India with Experian over 40,000 loan applications, which to some have already been disbursed around 6,000 loans, and we're waiting for those loans to mature. So what we're actually doing through the game is understanding those people intend to repay back loan. Our psych team have come up with a combination of 4 models in psychology to actually understand whether certain 12 traits in psychology can actually relate to loan repayment. And using machine learning, we can actually predict whether those people would repay back the loan. So the most important indicator, at least in credit risk, is the Gini model. The Gini model can actually predict whether the lender has a good model. So in that case, for example, he can increase his approval rate without causing more defaults. So as you can see, based on an initial mini pilot that we've done on the field, around 1,000 people with credit scores, we've managed to get an aggregated correlation of around 67 Gini score with correlations to those traits. So trait, which is called extrovert or feeling or numeracy, that was found to be highly correlated with loan repayment and neuroticism. That shows that we have a really strong model, and this is how we're selling this to lenders. Okay, so how does it work? Basically, as you can see, we have a pilot going on in India with 40,000 loan applications. It's part of the actual onboarding process where the borrower does a KYC, then there is a verification, and then our game comes into play where those people are actually playing the loan or playing the game. And what we can help here to the lenders is by actually accept those marginal rejects, and that can actually trigger additional 25% acceptance rate, which can translate to additional revenues. Now you may think, what's so different about our product? So few things. One, it's not invasive. And second, we actually generate new data with the borrower. And that's a key differentiator, because as you can see, some of those competitors out there, for example, from Lendo and Innovative Assessment, they all use traditional sources of data like tapping to your phone or mobile. And we're not dependent on those sources. We actually generate data for the first time. Actually, some of them have actually reached out for us to partner because they see that their dependency in mobile data, or at least those vendors like Google, may grow, and they don't have any solution to actually create a new profile over those people. So in terms of traction, there's a global traction that we're seeing right now, mostly in India, which is our core market, with Experian, Bridge to Capital, Sonata. We're also seeing traction in Africa with an asset farmer lending marketplace. And we are also present in Latin America with the third largest marketplace, Buy Now, Pay Later, which we can't expose its name as we're subject to NDA, and also a bank in India called RBL. That's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Sutia. Jump in, anyone?
Yeah, the guy from Belgrade. I would like to ask you about more about details on financials. I mean, what you can disclose to us in terms of the forecast and when you think that you will acquire the profits. I mean, when the break even will happen.
So we have already, we had in April 30K revenues, but these are from one-off pilots. We expect to sign a pilot with 3 banks in India this month, and the pilot usually takes around 6 months because you need to retweak the models. So we expect MRR coming from October, and we expect to end the year with 600K ARR.
That's good. Thank you for your question.
Are you planning on white label this?
Yeah, we're already white labeling.
Yeah, but I mean, in the Western markets as well. I mean, it seems to like, you know, obviously focusing on developing markets where the credit scores are hard to get, but there's definitely credit score issues in Western markets as well. I mean, you have a lot of immigrants and migrants and whatever. So any traction there?
Yeah, so our CRO, Claire, is based out of UK. So we're currently trying this out also in the UK. In the next month or so, she'll reach out as part of a mitigation plan because of the COVID in India. So yeah, it's on our really most.
Okay, would anyone else like to ask a question before Marina starts? No, Toby, you good? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions at all? Oh, okay, then Marina, take it away.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marina, founder and CEO of EQUO. Just to give you a bit of background on myself, I used to work for companies including Unilever, Bacardi, and LG, launching brands and products for them. So just jumping right into it, did you know that during the pandemic, we produced 30% more waste versus prior year? And also that 50% of all plastic produced is used only once. Now there are sweeping government bans that are taking place across the globe in an attempt to slow down the double-digit growth of the single-use plastic straw and utensils categories. Categories that have been growing despite reusable alternatives such as metal and silicone, and the ever polarizing paper straws that have been around on the market for years. And that is where EQUO comes in. EQUO is a sustainable brand that provides 100% plastic-free, biodegradable, and compostable solutions for everyday single-use plastic items. We're starting off with drinking straws, and they're made from a variety of different natural materials, including rice, grass, coconut, sugarcane, and most recently, coffee. Now, what makes us different is the fact that we decompose in months, not centuries. And we're so easy to switch to that you don't have to change your lifestyle or your behavior. No washing, no carrying around. Also, we help to promote a circular economy by diverting waste from the landfills in order to produce our products. Also, 2 other things that make us different is the fact that we're approaching the category for straws just like any other category. Similar to shampoo or chocolate, people have different preferences, and we're catering to those preferences with a variety of different products that we have. For example, you want a straw that matches the color of your drink, or let's say you get hangry mid-drink, we've got you covered. Also, we are disrupting the category by coming in and branding a typically commoditized category similar to bottled water or tissue paper and giving people a reason to care about something as mundane or boring as their choice in straw or fork, things that they never thought twice about. Now, in terms of our early traction, we launched a Kickstarter campaign that was fully funded in just 3 days. We are also a featured women-owned business on Amazon Launchpad and are the very first Vietnam-based company to be admitted into and backed by Techstars. We've been featured in a number of global publications, including Business Insider, Trend Hunter, Brightly, and just a few days ago, Forbes. And not only do our consumers love us and have been sharing about us on their social media, but also businesses love us too. And we've gotten on a number of early customers. We also work with a number of NGOs as well, including Skip the Plastic Straw, Plastic Pollution Coalition, and World Wildlife Foundation. In terms of our key milestones that we've achieved so far, besides launching a successful Kickstarter campaign, we've also made waves with our first US TV appearance first US TV interview, and we'll have an upcoming appearance on Shark Tank Vietnam by the end of next month. Our plans are to extend all of our product lines into other single-use plastic categories, such as cutlery, as well as dishware. And then finally, just before we end off, I want to address the elephant in the room. You know, we are not a tech company, and yes, we may not be within your wheelhouse, but I ask you, how many straws have you used within the past week or the past month, or how many have your friends or family used? As much as we embrace virtual solutions, we also live in a physical world that depends on physical products. With EQUO, our goal is not to protect the world, but our goal is to build a world in which we don't have to. We're trying to change the world one straw and fork at a time. If you'd like more information, you can feel free to contact me on any of the areas below, or if you have your phone handy, then you can also take a picture of our QR code and that'll lead you to our website. So now I'll open it up to any questions you guys may have.
Thank you so much, Marina. Questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for that. What's the difference in price between like I don't know, a unit size of straws versus plastic?
Yes, so right now, currently plastic straws are about 1/10 of a cent. Paper straws, and those are the good kinds that don't kind of break down in your drink in 10 minutes, but maybe last 30 minutes, those are about 2.5 cents. And our products right now range anywhere from 3 to 8 cents, depending on their size and their material.
Where do you currently get the raw materials for coconut and everything like that?
Yes. So our raw materials are sourced from both Vietnam as well as in Taiwan.
Where do you manufacture these?
Also in Vietnam or Taiwan.
And Marina, what's your distribution model? How are you reaching out to markets outside of Vietnam?
Yes, so our distribution model, if I could share with you here, is one of 3 ways. First off, there is direct to consumer, where we actually are selling directly ourselves through Amazon in both Canada, US, and Australia, and also on Lazada, Tiki, and Shopee here in Vietnam. So there's that direct to consumer part, as well as direct through email. Then also we have our distribution through our B2B, through resellers, our distributor partners, as well as retailers. So there are actual physical shops such as premium grocery stores or natural food stores that sell our end consumer product to the consumer. And then finally, we also help sell to restaurants and coffee shops as well. So a lot of those that use it for food service and actually use it for their end consumer themselves.
Do you have any patents?
As of right now, we do not, and we have already looked into them extensively. Unfortunately, it is quite difficult to patent a straw, and if patents have been issued, they have not actually done much in order to protect any sort of products. So one example is the sugarcane straw. I had actually a lot of years ago, and unfortunately, that did nothing to slow down the 30, 40, 50 other sugarcane straw companies that came up beside it as well. So it's very difficult to patent either the form, either the process, or in general, just the innovation.
Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
Marina, I would like to ask, so in your next fundraise, how would you be, I guess, allocating these funds to? What will be your focus?
Yes. So in terms of an allocation, about 45% will go towards sales and marketing distribution. When I first established the company, I wanted to build the foundation for logistics and to build the foundation for making sure that we can go ahead and scale quickly. That was because we also launched during the pandemic. So I had that downtime to be able to do that. So the 45% of any raise that we do in the future will go towards sales and distribution and just getting the new customers coming in. Then a big portion of that 25% will actually be going towards inventory, because we need to build up the inventory, especially in the different markets that we're in. And then finally, other parts of the funding will go towards additional certifications, just because different countries actually have different certifications, even for something as, again, mundane as a straw.
Okay, if there's no more questions, we'll move on. Thank you so much, Mina. Can you just unshare your screen? Thanks.
Will do.
Perfect. And next up is Easy. Easy.
Yes.
You know who you are.
That is me. I hope you can see my screen now.
It's there. Yes, go ahead.
Perfect. So yeah, I'll take over also from Vietnam here today, just in Hanoi. Normally, I'm in Ho Chi Minh City with our production team. And in 5 weeks, when we launch Marina, then you can use our platform to spread the good word all over the world, you know. So what we're here to do is we're here to make digital marketing easier for small business owners across the world, but also especially in markets like Vietnam, where there's no localization, there's no local support, there's no language support, there's no social media support or advertising channel support. So most of the countries in the world don't actually have any digital marketing automation platforms, and that's kind of what we're doing. So today, in the traditional categories of MarTech, you have 8,000 different solutions, and the number keeps growing. But you have to be in every category to really do digital marketing automation. That's very time consuming and it's very expensive. So what we're focusing on is we're trying to make it really simple, common sense simple for small business owners so they can do digital marketing very easily, very quickly and affordable without having any technical skills or anything. And if any of you know Canva out of Australia, they're sort of doing the same as we're doing. They're also freemium-based business strategy. They're targeting small business owners. They're just doing it on the visual part where you very easily make the visual part and download it. And we actually integrate to Canva as well. So if you're using Canva and ECIO, you don't really need anything else. You can get posting in 30 seconds. You can send it to Facebook, send it to Facebook ads, Google AdWords, Google My Business, WordPress sites, MailChimp, etc., etc. So we're taking something that's quite complex and quite hard and expensive, making it very, very simple and easy. And we even have a freemium model as well. So our business model is really based on targeting small business owners and understanding what is it that drives them. What we've seen in the last 15 months is that small business owners are maturing in terms of doing digital marketing because everyone needs to expand the geographical circle around their businesses. They need to attract more customers online. But it's very hard, and most of the money they are spending, up to 70–80%, is actually lost when they start doing digital marketing. And one of the reasons of doing that, especially here in Asia, where Facebook is sort of the primary advertising channel, is that most small business owners just click boost. And the problem is, if you're clicking boost and you're sitting in a city like Hanoi, where I'm now, you have 10 million people. So if you have a 3-mile radius of male and females of 20 to 45 years old, you might have 3 million people in a segment, but you don't really need to advertise to 3 million people. You should advertise to 3,000 people if you're a small business owner. If it's relevant, then you're spending your money with an output, with an outcome, with an actual return of investment. So that's pretty much what we're focusing on, is to trying to help people. So we have a freemium business strategy, which is quite unique in the market today. So if you look at all our direct competitors, indirect competitors who are in the traditional categories, none of them really do freemium strategy at all. And it's not the first time we do freemium. We launched a freemium strategy-based company in 2011, and we acquired 250,000 registered users in 11 months. And part of that success was also having a mailing list of 220,000 people who we're going to mail out in 5 weeks when we launch. So basically, we initially launched in 5 weeks globally. We're targeting the English-speaking markets, North America, Northern Europe, where the matureness level of small business owners is the highest. But on the same time, we're going into all the undeveloped markets, which also means that by October, we're launching in Vietnam. So we're going to have Salo ad support. We're going to have Salo as a social media support as well. So we're adding in the localized channels. We're also adding in, localized support and documentation and training videos. So if we can help all these small business owners in a whole range of countries and language markets around the world where no one is trying to help them, we're going to be the first mover on doing that. And of course, that means in a world where you acquire customers through bidding and auction platforms and advertising channels where you do paid advertising and you don't have any competitors, customer acquisition is going to be quite affordable, to say the least. So our goal is to be global. And to be honest, when we launch, our analytics is going to be simple. I mean, at the end of the day, 99% of all the small business owners in the world who use Google Analytics don't really use it, right? They have it because they were told they need it, but they don't really use the data. So our goal is to try and make something that today is non-transparent and very hard and technical into something that's cheap, affordable, and easy to do. So that's where our name comes from. It's easy. So we have a lot of strengths. We actually built this platform and the software behind it over the last 9 years. We got more than $10 million in revenue on enterprise level. We delivered it as platform as a service. And we already proved before that we can do a mass market strategy. We're tailoring to the audience as well. And we already have the experience of working with small and medium business owners. Of course, the weakness is that we're quite new. Our capital flow and everything isn't that big. And me and my co-founders actually put in all the money, all the technology and everything behind it to get us to the launch in 5 weeks, including our first marketing campaigns with the full financing and everything. So when we launch in 5 weeks, it's going to be based on what we put in of time, software, and money, and we don't have a single external investor as of yet. So that's sort of what we're looking at now, is finding someone who want to be a part of the journey so we can do additional customer acquisition and get the market positioning. So if we look at the competitor...
Ronnie, can you wrap it up, please? It's already 6 minutes.
Yeah, I'll just wrap it up very quickly and say that today, the only ones who really doing what we're doing is someone like Marketo, and it's $2,000 a month, and ours is free or $29 a month and up. So we also have financial forecasting. You know, by the end of the year, we're actually, you know, we have a positive revenue, and then, you know, we're doing quite well over the years. We have 400 million potential customers in our segment globally, and it's really an undercatered or a completely uncatered market we are targeting here. Yeah, by year 4, we are targeting more than 500,000 users, and, you know, a revenue more forecast of year 3 is already 20 million plus in dollars. So we're in a very interesting market space. We have our profit margin 75% from 5,000 users. After 100,000 users, our profit margin is 85%. So it's pretty well. But I mean, this is pretty easy. So I think the message has come through. So let's take the remaining time and spend that on the questions.
Those last 2 slides is what I would have led with, mate. Anyway, yes, any questions?
Yeah, this is Belinda Wong. You are into a large number of countries. On content marketing, how would you handle the cultural differences?
Well, we are actually platform and channel independent. So we integrate to all the local platforms and channels. It also means with what we are seeing globally going on now, both Facebook and Google is being pressured a lot by the American anti-authority, anti-monopoly laws, etc. So Facebook and Google's market positioning might change a lot in the next 12 to 24 months. But in every country we go in, we do local adaptation. We do local integrations to ad channels, to social media channels, mail channels, etc. So the way we redefine the category is actually by bridging all the different categories to make it very simple to do it from one interface. As one of the biggest challenges is when SMBs have to log in multiple platforms, they're not being very efficient and it's too time consuming. So we are channel agnostic. We can integrate any channel at all.
Anyone else want to jump in? Okay, thanks, Rory. We'll get you to unshare your screen, and then next up is DrobeBox.
Hi everyone. I hope that you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Son, founder and CEO of DrobeBox. We are reinventing the fashion. So have you ever wondered what is the biggest mystery in fashion? I have nothing to wear. And yes, women do spend a lot of money in fashion. In fact, that Vietnamese women spend 2.9 billion US dollars for clothing, but only use 20% of their closets. That equivalent to 2.3 billion US dollars lying around, wasted, and create absolutely zero value. Combined with cosmetic, accessory, shoe, bag, all the stuff that women have to purchase, we have a 3.2 billion US dollar problem, rapidly growing without a proper solution. And that's exactly why we built DrobeBox, a closet that anyone could access and wear anything without actually owning anything. We create a revolution way to consume fashion that 20 times cheaper and better. How does it work? Very simple. You just need to pay $2 per day to access our process by an app on your phone. With that, you could freely explore and select any item you like. Within 4 to 8 hours, we ship the item to your door in a perfectly ready-to-wear condition. You just need to open the bag and enjoy the item. After having fun with the item, get compliment from friends and family, you could select any item to purchase and keep it at a discount price. For the leftover item, simply put it back into the bag, press one button, then we will show up, pick it up for cleaning and maintenance. And you could move on with your day. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? With DrobeBox, anyone could look good every day, as simple as ordering a bubble tea. We launched at the beginning of May 2020. Since then, despite the impact of COVID-19 and the limited of resource, we managed to grow 40% month-over-month consistency in the last 6 months. We're on track to achieve 1.5K monthly active subscription at the end of this year. Not only received a lot of love from our early adapter, DrobeBox backed by a team of passionate and experienced entrepreneurs. We both have more than 10 years of experience in building and growing world-class products that serve millions. So if you want to enjoy the disruption of one of the biggest industries in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, please join us to make the fashion great again. My name is Son, I'm from DrobeBox. We are building an every woman dream concept. And if you're interested to find out more, please contact me after the presentation. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Son.
Well, this is Belinda Wong again. I'm interested in knowing how you would handle the wear and tear of the clothes.
Yeah, so actually,
a large percentage of your expenses.
Yeah, so actually in terms of cost structure, the wear and tear of clothing depreciation right now account for 31% of the total revenue. So the way we handle it is actually two ways. First way we are a fusion model, which is the user have the option to actually purchase the item they are using with a discount price. So we actually increase the liquidity of the item to reduce the risk of damage and throwaway item. The secondly is actually we're working with a premium cleaning partner to tap in the economic of scale. So we're able to provide a more, let's say, sustainable cleaning solution for the clothing to extend the lifetime much better.
Hey, Son, where do you source all of your clothes from? Do you have any major partners that you could work with that provide the clothing, or do you make, is it your own brands or?
So right now we at the stage one, we actually become a hub to connect all the other brands. So we're sourcing from them to two ways. So the first way is actually we place at a wholesale. We get anywhere from 40 to 60% discount off the retail price. The second way is they give us the money, then we split back the revenue to them. The next day, actually leveraging the data we get from the user to actually identify the niche of the market that we can create our own brand to fill into that niche. So a big opportunity in fashion industry, especially in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, it is dominated by small and medium enterprise. So the leverage of data and customer loyalty minimum there. So we have the opportunity to actually become one single big brand that consumer will come in every time they want to solve the fashion and beauty problem.
Son, I have one question around maybe like more of a cultural or behavioral patterns that you've seen in Vietnam. Like, is it something that women or men even in Vietnam are seeing more preferences or comfort around wearing clothes that have been worn before? That's one question. And two is in terms of the type of clothes on your platform, do you have a specific focus? So like Style Theory has started off with more like evening dresses, and then they start to expand a bit more in like daily wear. So what is your take on that?
So the first question is that is also our first concern when we launched the model, whether or not the culture is ready for that. So we test out with a small set of customer and say, if we're able to give them the opportunity to reduce the cost for fashion by 10 times, it's interesting enough for them to shift to the model where they accept the clothing instead of owning the clothing. And through the years, we're able to prove that right now our lifetime value over CAC is pretty good for the standard of subscription industry. So the people is open up to try this kind of model, especially the younger people like millennial and generation G. For the second question, we not go after style theory. Our inventory selection is more similar to white closet in China, where we focus into more casual clothing because that more aligned with the culture of Vietnam and Southeast Asia. And also it's allow us to do one thing style theory cannot do, is selling the item. So if you go with event dress, for example, no woman gonna purchase that. Even though you throw in like 50%, 60%, 80% discount, they're not gonna buy it. But with our product, we're actually able to sell the product only through in 20 to 40% discount. So we not only get the revenue from subscription, we also get the revenue from purchase path. And it's opened up the whole new opportunity to tap in all the vertical like cosmetic, accessory, shoe, bag. Usually those kind of category have a much higher CPM. So you have to run a lot of marketing costs in order to generate an order. With our platform, because our user get back to the platform every single day, we're able to cross-sell those items for free. In fact, right now, our users spend 50 minutes on the platform every single day. And for reference, people only spend around 15 minutes on Instagram on average. So we get to the point where we can become, let's say, a way of entertainment. So women go in and do window shopping, all of that. And with that, we can get a much better revenue stream from higher like machine category.
Anyone else would care to quickly ask Sun a question, or can we move on?
Yeah, a very good question for the monetization model. You said about $2, right, for every person. Does this include, including if, for example, clothes get lost or destroyed or wrong deliveries and things like that? So there's no extra thing coming on top?
Yeah, so the $2 is cover shipping fee and cleaning fee. For the damaged item, so it have two categories. If like the unfixable damage, right now our rule is you break it, you buy it. And because the average cost per item is relatively small, put in the context of the fashion, so our user doesn't have any problem with that. So if you break it, you buy it, and we ship you back the item. We actually have the platform on top of the traditional logistic partner in order to handle the reverse logistic. So we managed to keep right now the successful delivery rate is 99.9%, and with the cost of 40.6% total of the cost. So the cost structure is less than 50% for shipping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Let's keep it moving, guys. Thank you, Sun.
Yeah, thank you.
So next up is, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it Finme, but I think it's not quite correct. You know who you are, I hope?
Yes, it's pronounced Finme.
Finme, of course. Makes sense. Go ahead.
Okay. Just check. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. So
just expand it. Just expand it, Tim. Just like give us a page view.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So can you see it clearly now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Thịnh, co-founder of Finme, eco-friendly and smart IoT drinking portal. We are company that trying to build that constantly remind people to do small but important thing that help them to improve their health and body. We the problem of the majority of people is like all of us need to drink water correctly to be healthy, but most of us are too focused on their tasks and forgot to drink water. We have them to personalize their drinking amount, based on their body measurement and exercise behavior, and remind people to drink water every day to sound and visualize effect in our portal and through notification from our application. Our smart portal is connected with the mobile phone and visualize the drinking process through a virtual character, tracked and calculated by our own design smart sensor and circuit board. This virtual character will grow to time if it fit with enough water daily. If not, it will die. And when reaching the certain taste, it can compete with friends through a competition system for additional reward. This is our simple UI UX. It's very easy to use with social feature attached. Our portal respond to 4 global living trends. It's safe and eco-friendly with high quality stainless steel 3.4 medical grade rubber. It helps to reduce plastic waste into the environment. It's healthy. And in addition, it's efficient and convenient to carry around with the modern design. And we also have the brand awareness and stand out with the competition for company to customize their logo and message in our portal. Okay, our competition in Vietnam, our direct competitor are well-known high-quality water portal manufacturing like Lock and Jesty. We provide the same quality bottle like them, plus we have the smart feature in this. Okay, our company profiles here, we currently production capacity is about 50,000 units per month. Here's our management team. We have various experience in several areas in the from IT to sales and marketing, project management, process improvement, and finance. Okay, the market side. We currently doing business in Vietnam, and we focus on mid and high income people in the working day. Around 70% of the people care about their health and weight. That means that our target market in Vietnam is around 40 million USD, but it will grow more as people average income increase in the future. We target 30% market share in the next 3 years, which is around 120 million, which equal to 3.7 million products sold in the market, compared with the total population of Vietnam is around 100 million people. So there's a lot of room to grow. Our current client here, we do the B2B with them. So customization the logo and message for their internal employee. This is our B2B channel. Our current business model, besides B2B, we do have B2C. We sell in e-commerce platform like Tiki, Lazada, and Shopee. Also in social network, and we cooperate with the cooperator for affiliation. Our future business model will be a health and lifestyle tax system where with 4 main categories, we will focus on smart bottle and accessory, payment in our gamification app, and integration with other tech and lifestyle system, as well as smart fuse box and other IoT physical product. So here is some sample of the integration with our partner. we provide the API to the eDoctor for water consumption tracking. eDoctor is kind of the online platform for doctor service in Vietnam. And we also working with Trip. Trip is a lifestyle system. So the logic is like a user drink enough water daily, they will be reward cryptocurrency, and they can use this cryptocurrency to plant a tree. So you will plant a tree for the better world. And there's some screenshot about other product that we are currently developing. This smart build box, and this is the scale, the smart scale that we are also doing as well. Here's our cooperation model. We're looking for cash investment and distribution partner for market expansion. Okay, so thank you for listening. Please ask more questions if you need.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tim. Anyone would like to jump in?
How much are you selling your bottles for?
Currently, for the B2C, we are selling around 55 USD per bottle, which is quite cheaper than Zesty. Zesty is around, I believe, is in Vietnam, it's around 60 to 62 USD per bottle.
Are you charging anything for the app?
No, the app is free. But in the future, we do have the plan to monetize in the app, but not now, because like we want to focus to grow the user first.
Have you gotten any traction on the B2C channel?
Okay, B2C channel, we have around more than 3,000 bottles sold already, and for additional 20,000 bottles signed with the with our two distributor in the next month.
What was the time period for that sale?
Sorry, I'm not.
The time period that you sold the 3,000 units.
Oh, the time period is around 4 months. Yeah.
Okay, anyone else like to jump in, or can we move on to the next? Okay, I think that's fine. Thank you, Tim.
Okay.
Can you just share your screen?
Thank you. Thank you.
Andrew, you're next. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, so CryptiSwap is a non-custodial cryptocurrency exchange allowing users to trade without registration. We are incorporated in Delaware and our head office is in San Francisco, but I founded it and I'm developing it here in Sydney, Australia. So there are two types of exchanges, custodial and non-custodial. So there's a saying in crypto that goes, not your keys, not your coin. And without getting into too much detail about cryptography, a private key is what allows you to spend your funds, and whoever owns the private key owns the funds. So as a non-custodial exchange, CryptiSwap does not take custody or hold funds, as the keys will remain on the user's own device. So we set a limit of $500 per trade during our live beta test, which we have most recently completed. In the first 5 days of the test, we generated a volume of $8,333. this was without any marketing. It was just during our testing phase. So yeah, due to all we did was basically post a few posts on a community on Reddit. And so yeah, you can imagine the amount of volume we can generate once we execute a pro marketing plan. So yeah, speaking of daily volume in US dollars, here is a screenshot of the daily volume generated by exchanges ranked roughly 200 out of a total of 311 other exchanges. So it's in the bottom percentile of exchanges. So yeah, if you're looking at the total amount of exchanges, there's 311 registered exchanges. So these are around the ranked 200. So if an exchange is ranked 250 out of 311 other exchanges, if exchanges ranked 250 out of 311 can generate a daily volume of 5 million, we feel like we can easily get this number of daily volume in the short term and move up the rank.
Andrew, just sorry, before you move on, can you try and increase the size of that or make yourself larger? Because we're not going to, I'm not at least seeing the screen which you're projecting on your presentations. It's not grabbing enough size to actually see. Is everyone else having the same
yeah,
problem?
sorry. So so sorry about that. I'm just showing you basically a list of CoinMarketCap lists all the different number of exchanges.
Right.
I've sorted it by volume per 24-hour volume, and it just ranks it. And these are the exchanges. You can see that they're not ranked very well compared to the total of like 311 exchanges. So yeah, we're looking at an average of about $5 million US of daily volume generated per exchange here, and the rankings are pretty low. So to achieve this number, now that we have the product built and are ready to launch it, it's very achievable in the short term. And so for the other, just to give you more detail, these are the orders that were placed in the first 5 days of our exchange, and the limit was set at $500 US. So US dollars, $500 US, and we had low amounts just because we didn't want to overload ourselves during the first 5 days, starting from the 21st of February going to the 26th. So yeah, they're the results that we found.
All right, I've got you back onto speaker view. Sorry, my bad. It's okay.
That's right. And yeah, so currently we've listed a total of 4 stages. We've completed the first 2 of creating the software, releasing the MVP. Stage 2 is creating and publishing the app, which we just recently completed. Now this 3rd stage that we're going to start working on is moving from partial automation to complete automation. So it's self-sufficient exchange, which will just have to be fixed and updated and patched every now and then. But currently it's partially automated. So we're able to detect transaction based on the transaction that's published on the public ledger, which is the blockchain. So we're able to detect the payment and verify the number of confirmations, but we have to manually send the funds. And in the near term, in the next few months, we will make a fully automated exchange, allowing the exchange to send funds automatically. We just don't want to do this currently because it's a security feature, and we need to build a team to build this automatic feature. So we could have easily created it in the past. It's just we're waiting for the right moment and for the right team that we can trust. So the 4th and what we thought was the final stage is just launch an ICO, create a unique cryptocurrency based on CryptiSwap that will allow users to swap that cryptocurrency into their own funds, depending on what they can swap the CryptiSwap cryptocurrency into Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever cryptocurrency they choose. And I thought of a new stage, something that we can develop in the future is to launch a professional trading platform with users able to place limit orders and just anything you can do in a professional trading platform. And yes, that's it.
Thanks very much. Anyone like to jump in with questions for Andrew?
I've got a question. It's Chaz Isaac here. You talk about trying to allow people to send or transact cryptocurrencies anonymously without the overheads of KYC. This seems to be the absolute opposite of what most regulators would want.
Yeah.
And with all the regulation around terrorist funding and money laundering. So what makes you think this won't be picked up by the regulators as a way of circumventing that?
Yes, good question. So we're not gonna, this isn't an anonymous cryptocurrency exchange. This is a non-custodial exchange, which basically means that we don't hold the customer's funds. You could imagine an exchange, a custodial exchange like Binance or Coinbase. The only way you can exchange using their platform is to send them, deposit the funds into their platform, their website, and they hold it for you. That's this non-custodial part for us is we don't hold the customer's funds, and it's actually much easier for us in a legal and regulatory standpoint where we aren't, we basically aren't liable because we don't, it's impossible to hack our platform and steal the funds because it remains on the user's wallet. It doesn't, we don't hold it for them. So it's actually much easier from a regulatory standpoint to operate as a non-custodial exchange.
Somebody has to track the transfer from person A to person B. So you're saying that's handled by the regulated exchanges, custodial?
No, that will be KYC. So once our system triggers a KYC response, the user will have to eventually, depending on the criteria that is met, the user will have to complete a KYC procedure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Who else would like to jump in?
Well, I would like also to ask you a bit more details about your go-to-market strategy. You know, what is the focus? What are the milestones? And when you think, when you find the proper investor, are you going to move to the next stage for your development technology? And a bit more details about your front end. You know, I would like to know if it's possible to share with us. Thank you.
Yes, good question. So our strategy for now is once we launch, we want to get listed on as many aggregators as possible, and that way we'll get listed on a list of aggregators of different exchanges. And basically, a user doesn't really care which exchange they use; they just care of getting the cheapest rate and they're getting the most amount. So our plan is to launch and then offer the cheapest rate for a short term and win as many customers as possible. That's our current plan. In terms of going on to the next stage, this is entirely possible. We can complete this using currently myself and Wu, who is a software developer from China that I'm working with. We can develop this ourselves, but it would be much better if we can get a team of engineers to accelerate the process or like improve upon certain features, and it would just be much easier if we can get a team on board. And for the front end, I mean, yeah, so I can, like I said, like I invite you to go on our website, CryptiSwap.org. It's a very user-friendly interface, very easy to use. You can complete a trade straight from our homepage within 3 clicks. You can have your funds sent to you, yeah, instantly, basically, and that's CryptiSwap.org. And also, yeah, download our, just get a feel for the user-friendly interface. It's available on both platforms. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you. I will gladly do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Andrew, that's great. What I'd like to say now is that
Hey, James, I think you're on mute.
You're mute, James.
sorry, Colin, you want to ask a question?
No, it's just, I think you're on mute.
Probably, sorry.
It's okay. Let's start again. Old dudes in technology. No, what are you going to do? So anyway, I was going to say, because I got off and got back on, right, at the start, I kind of got out of sequence here because I wanted to get all of these wonderful people who've given up their time today to come on with the startups to actually go through and introduce themselves. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing a bit of a manual vote count for those who haven't yet found the knobs, the actual boxes, yeah, on the screen and voted. If you have, that's great, because it seems that some can see and some can't. Oh, I'm hoping some did and some didn't, but let's say some didn't. So put it in the box now, and I'll tally that up, and I'll work out whether I can get some help from Kate and Leonard to work out the system. In the meantime, can you just all take it in turns as judges to unmute yourself, put your camera on, and just take a minute to introduce yourself as judges, and basically take a minute and then pass it on, and everyone take it in turn, right? And go right through the panel while I'm offline doing the calculations. Okay? That'll be great. Thanks. And someone has to start.
Well, let me start. My name is Belinda Wong. I'm in Hong Kong. I do company incorporation and corporate compliance for clients. I also write technical books, the Hong Kong Company Secretary's Practice Manual, and I'm also the manager of the Startup Channel Club in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Halo. Halo, čale, na vezi sam. Idi ti po miku, pošto imam s ovim...
Maybe let me go next, Belinda, if this is fine for you. I'm Tobias. I'm currently based out of Cambodia, but I moved back to Singapore in the next 2 weeks. I work with ScaleX Ventures, as you can see in my background. It's part of Blockchain Founders Fund. It's an early stage tech investor. We currently have 55 portfolio companies on the asset light space. And on the side, I'm also a venture partner of Republic and a mentor for Plug and Play. And yeah, very excited to be here and hear all of your backgrounds. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'll go next if you want. My name's Seamus Crawford. I'm based out of Hong Kong. I work for a fund called VU Venture Partners. So we're a multi-stage investment fund. We focus on seed through Series B. We have roughly 45 portfolio companies across 5 core verticals, so consumer, enterprise, fintech, healthcare, and frontier. We even have some kind of advanced AI, robotics, and space investments in our portfolio as well. So we invest initially between $100,000 to $1 million on our first investment. We usually don't lead that. We usually co-invest, and then we reserve up to $10 million for follow-on investments and pro rata commitments in each company. That's it.
I'm happy to go next. Hi everyone, I'm Amanda from Rainmaking in Singapore. We are a corporate innovation and venture building company. We work with large corporates to work with startups and also building new ventures. So our expertise has primarily been in the energy space, maritime, real estate. Before that, I was with a sovereign fund looking at technology investments in Silicon Valley. Super excited to be here and really nice to see everyone's pictures.
Yeah, I'll just go after Amanda because I'm also with Rainmaking. My name's Colin. So I won't go into rainmaking, but I'm also the kind of interim managing director for Startup Bootcamp in Korea. And I've worked with Startup Bootcamp across the portfolio of fintech and insurtech programs globally, managing kind of global deal flow and investment analysis for that.
Hello,
Okay, maybe I
this
can go next. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, this is Malifun, based in Hong Kong, and I'm a valuation director in business, based in with Sappos. And I count Cyberport as my client, who of course has a fund investing in many startups. Yeah, and also there are a lot of perfect equities from my client who also values in startup in Hong Kong, in China, and also Southeast Asia as well. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amit. I'm based out of Singapore. We run a fund called Excel Ventures, which is a pre-series A and seed round funding for startups in the B2C and B2B space. We also are in the process of setting up a green fund. So any startup which is focusing on impact investments or green investments, we'll be happy to support them as well. Thank you.
I'll go next. I'm Peter Honica, venture partner at HYYH Ventures here in Singapore. We're focusing on the deep tech, medtech, some fintech. We have a soft landing pad in Luxembourg called House of Deep Tech, House of Medtech. We're actively pursuing Asian or non-European companies or even European companies to soft land in Europe that are export ready. We also have a other side of a door, which is landing international companies into Singapore. Same thing in the process with ESG to get the green lane. Our size of a ticket varies based on where in the stage the company is. We obviously interested to go from pre-seed to seed to Series A most of the time. Thank you.
Right, this is Willie from Capital Ventures based off in Singapore. We're a fund focusing on seed pre-A to A, check size 300,000, follow on $2 million in areas of consumer technologies, business intelligence, and sustainability team. Thank you.
Hi, I can go next. So hi, I'm JL from Plug and Play. So I lead the ventures team across Southeast Asia for Plug and Play, and we're global innovation, corporate innovation platform, as well as early stage VC. So our check sizes are between 50 to 150K. We invest across all verticals, from pre-seed to pre-series A. Thank you.
Hi, shall I do next? I'm Chaz Isaac. I'm based in Singapore. I've worked with startups as a mentor, angel investor, and basically hands-on where that's required. So I'm quite interested in all these ideas, and it's been some great presentations. Thank you.
Have we gone through everyone already? Is that it?
I think I didn't do my presentation as a jury member, but I don't know if you have called me for that.
No, go ahead. We actually had a bit of a false start. That's my problem. So no, please go ahead now.
Okay.
you can just go, you want to unmute, I think you're unmuted, so just go ahead and talk. Just
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. My name is Guy Vanka. I come from Belgrade. Mostly I work as a consultant in the region of Southeast, Eastern and Central Europe. Currently I'm leading a company in the fashion world. It started as a startup 4 years ago and developed to the regional leader, by acquisition of a local production company that was in another industry. We have rebranded the business. We have bought the adequate machinery, and we generally started working in a light knitwear and summer clothes industry. We are export-oriented company. Mostly what I do is helping smaller entrepreneurs in the region to to have better access to finance, business planning, forecasts, financial modeling, and so forth. In terms of other opportunities, I connect international investors who are interested to invest in the region. For example, in Serbia, in Croatia, in Montenegro, and it's from various industries, from telco to real estate, to finance, to agribusiness, FMCG, and so on. So I'm really keen about new startups, about technology, about the artificial intelligence in its application in the aforementioned industries. So that would be pretty much about myself. I'm happy that I was called for a jury for Singapore, so I hope that we will continue this as a tradition. Thank you.
I'd love to have everyone back, and I'm definitely going to be contacting everyone about this for the next Singapore event. Okay. So is that everyone? If anyone hasn't introduced himself, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'll announce the winner. Is there someone we've missed out on or not? What do they say in the movies? Speak now or forever hold your peace or something? It's like, okay, this is your last chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So drum roll, please. I'm going to just cut and paste. I hope I've got this right. The results. Yes. Can anyone see?
Hello, can we speak now? Do you hear me? Halo, se čujemo?
Sorry.
Jeste. Sad ja ne znam da me zovete na WhatsApp. Može.
Yeah, you gotta mute him. Can you mute him?
Try to find him. My goodness. Where is he?
Može. Super.
Sorry, guys. I cannot find him.
Hello.
Oh, guys, this is crazy.
Hello, do you hear me? Hello, greetings from Belgrade.
I mean, he doesn't even seem to be here.
You put gallery view and you'll see him dark.
Oh yeah, sorry, got him. Is that it?
Yes, you have done it.
Can you still hear the guy? No, I think he's gone. I'm sorry, my apologies. Can you hear me? Is anyone still hearing me? Am I on mute as well?
We can hear you, James.
The drum roll is still going.
Good.
All right. So I put the summary, but it's not very easy to see. The summary is going to be in the chat window here. I don't know whether people can see it, but the winner, in fact, the winner of the competition with a rating of 3.833 is EQUO. Marina, right?
Yes. Oh, EQUO, yes.
So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
All right. We have very close numbers today because ConfirmU, Getir was had an average of 3.7, so 3.8, 3.7. DrobeBox high 3.6s. inPact, Jose, 3.6. I mean, HandPrint, 3.4. Vircle 3.4. So literally, this was a close call. We're talking about, on average, people were very close to being in the average, right? We're talking about a point between some and like one and a half to 1 point between. I think Marina, you're ahead by about a point, so you were a clear winner, but everyone else was very close. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'll be sending your details to the team for tomorrow's event, and you'll be pitching again tomorrow in the Asia Pacific, the Southeast Asia and Pacific event, yeah?
All right. Well, I will try to represent us well and represent you guys well.
Yeah.
Yay.
And I'd just like to say again to everyone who turned up today, A, apologies for the sort of the false start. I won't do that again. You learn. And B, I really appreciated the feedback because I know, I mean, people like Jose have been around, they've done a lot of work, they've put a lot of effort into it, and they've competed many times. Some of the startups haven't. And I think they need that feedback. They need to kind of like get a feeling for the sort of question.
James, I think, is it just me or can everybody hear
Yeah,
him?
I think he froze.
Yeah, he froze.
He got disconnected.
Okay, guys, it was a pleasure.
It should be actually focused on versus what shouldn't be. So, yeah, Peter.
We lost you there for half a second. You froze.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, people like, there are some people who've been here a while and done a lot of pitching, and people I don't think you have. There are investors like you, Peter, who've been around a long time, seen a lot, know what 3-4 questions to ask. And just this kind of relationship between a startup founder who loves what they do, obviously they're passionate and they know their product inside out. They have to learn how to get to the bottom of things quickly, right? Present the important things quickly, clearly, concisely to grab attention. And these sort of pitch events, although for us as panelists, you might say that, you know, they sometimes go on a bit, and I know it's 2 hours of your day. I just appreciate it, and I think the startups appreciate the effort that the panelists give because they learn, they benefit. They only get better with this sort of practice. Okay, with that said, all of the pitches were great. All the products have great potential and opportunity. I just think it's a case of, you know yourself, right? You just have to keep on going. You'll get there. It's a case of finding the right people. This was only 20. There's a lot of people out there that you didn't see. It's going to take hundreds sometimes to get those dollars that you need. So don't stop and don't take any backward steps. Just keep on going. And again, I'll just end up by saying thank you for everyone who attended. I'm going to be in contact with you personally. I'd love to get some support for a future event, but you know, for today, thanks.
Thanks a lot, James. If it's possible, would it be possible to connect with some of the other panelists, including the investors?
Yeah, I will circulate. I'll definitely circulate so that you have connection details so that they can follow through on one-to-one calls after this.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Give me a day or two. I'll be back to you.
Sure. All right. Thanks a lot, and thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Great.
Congrats, Marina.
Congrats.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Be safe. Take care. See you. Bye.